Hello everybody! Today we're gonna talk school uniforms. Hi and welcome back to my Exchange Year in Japan series, where I talk about how it was living in Japan as a high school student, living with a Japanese family, and so much more! In this episode, I'm going to tell you all about my school uniform experience. So if you're interested in the Japanese school life, keep watching and subscribe! School uniforms. So after I got in touch with my host family and we exchanged some letters and emails, they sent me a list of the items I had to get for a full set of school uniforms, both a summer and a winter one, and also sports jerseys. You can buy these new in your size from the school shop. But I didn't want to spend a lot of money, so I borrowed a used one and later it was gifted to me. It's this one. Although this is not the original shirt, so I could keep it in the end. That was nice. The blazer is obviously a bit big for me. The sleeves are too short though. And it did not fit me very well. But you know, there were a few little things that I had to buy new though, like this pin with a school symbol that everyone wears, and slippers that you wear in school. When you enter the school in the morning, you take off your shoes and exchange them for slippers and put your shoes on a shelf. There are these huge shelves in the entrance hall where everyone puts their shoes and says good morning in the morning, ohayo, and you leave them there until you put them back on when you go home. Now the slippers and sports clothes varied in color depending on what year you're in. The high school in Japan is 3 years and I was placed in second year when I got there. The second year students wore blue. Our senpais, the older students, wore dark red, and the younger first year students wore green. So even just walking around in the hallway, you could see if someone is older or younger than you by the color of the slippers. When you see a senpai that you know, you have to greet them, for example, from if they're in the same club as you. It was really cute. Like the younger students from the club I joined always greeted me when they saw me. That was so adorable. Now I got these used for free as well, but my long sleeve shirt has a school name missing on the back, usually it's written here. And my short sleeve one, which I don't know where it is, had this in green, so the first year student color. So yeah, always just looked a bit funny I guess, with really big school uniform, the jersey in the wrong color. My blazer says Yoshida. I guess it does not. Also we had short pants and long pants. They're huge. They're honestly huge. You look like you're 2 times bigger than you are. During PE class, I usually would wear the short pants with the t-shirt on, the short sleeve shirt, and the jacket over it so you wouldn't see that my t-shirt had the wrong color. I would just put the long sleeve shirt without the jacket. And during my sports club training, I was always wearing the long pants. The ties for the girls are these clip-on types. Maybe they thought girls would have a hard time tying them themselves. I don't know. They're red with blue stripes, and the boys' neckties were reversed in color, so blue with red stripes and a little wider, and the normal ones that you have to tie yourself. Now, as I mentioned before, there is a winter and summer school uniform. The skirt for the summer is made of lighter material. It's a bit thinner and not as heavy as the winter one. And there is a short sleeve blouse for the summer. Although I have to say that a lot of people just wore their normal white shirts and the tie without the blazer and just rolled up the sleeves, like I'm wearing right now. Which also looks a lot cuter than the summer shirt, I think. I usually varied between the 2 options. Sometimes I wore this and sometimes the proper summer shirt. In winter I wore this knit sweater as well and a huge scarf just to keep me warm. The sweater you had to buy outside from school and there were a few guidelines as to what is acceptable For example, the color could be gray, black, and cream. Something else? I'm not sure. Also, it should be a V-neck line, not round. Most of the girls bought a medium or large sized men's knit sweater. This is a men's medium, and I have to say, the sleeves are still kind of short. Dress sizes are so different from Europe. I wish I bought it in large. Tights. Tights are not allowed. Later I found out that nude color tights, like really thin ones that you wouldn't really see, were okay, but nobody wanted to wear these because they said that that's what grandmas wear. So yeah, rather be cold, I guess. But black tights were an absolute no-go, although I think it would look really good with like dark blue black tights. So pretty! One day a girl from 3rd year, I think, wore black tights to school, and it was quite a scandal. Like everyone talked about it, at least in my class. Everyone I talked with that day talked about it, but I don't know what happened, if anything happened to her, if she got scolded or something. I'm not sure. I remember when I went to school or back home, I saw girls from a different school, and they had black tights part of their uniform, and I was so jealous. Oh my god, and it looked so cute. I think it was never below 0 when I had to go to school, but even 5 degrees, if you're only wearing a skirt and you have to walk to school for like 40 minutes, it's quite cold. And on the top part of my body was wearing so many layers, like t-shirt, shirt, sweater, blazer, scarf. I think I even had a coat on. And I was so hot, that was so weird. Like really cold on your legs and then so hot. Some girls wore their long track pants under their skirt on their way to school and then took them off before school, because there was always a teacher or 2 teachers, the school gate, greeting everyone in the morning and, you know, checking if the uniform was okay. Now, my school was not private, and I don't know if it was because of that, but even inside the school, it was really cold. We had like a portable oil heater thing in the back of the classroom, so if we were sitting right in front of it, you were literally burning up, but if you were sitting further away from it in front of the class, you didn't feel anything. Like, is it on? I don't know. You didn't feel it. Nothing. Every girl brought blankets from home for class, for the legs, so it would not be as cold. It was still quite cold. And what always really bugged me was seeing boys sitting in class shivering and being like, "Summer," and I'm like, huh? What? I have to bring a blanket because my legs are naked. I know just because they were wearing pants doesn't mean that they weren't cold, because it was that cold in class. And if you're just sitting there all day, not moving, yeah. I'm just saying, in that moment I was like, oh my god, shut up. I had Kudo training every day after class, so I would go home at night when it was already dark. And after walking for like 40 minutes, at some point, you don't even feel the cold on your legs anymore. However, before entering the house, I always just stood there outside for a minute, because it would get really painful once you get inside the warm house. Do you know this feeling when your hands are incredibly cold and you wash them? Not even with hot water, just moderately warm water, and it burns like hell? Yeah, that's the feeling on your legs. There are some rules regarding the school uniform and your outer appearance that are pretty basic and probably the same at most of the schools. But then, some schools have some really crazy rules as well. At my school, you shouldn't wear makeup, your nails shouldn't be too long and probably not painted as well. Your hair shouldn't be dyed and not curled. The skirt shouldn't be too short, and for the boys, I think the pants shouldn't sit too low and the shirt was supposed to be tucked in. My school was not that strict though. There was like an examination day every now and then where everyone gathered in the gym in the morning before class, and we had to go up to the teachers one by one to be checked. show your nails, skirt length. Yeah. So those days you could see people in the morning with like using black tinted hairspray to cover up the dyed hair, unrolling their skirts to the actual lengths because everyone was rolling them up so they would be shorter and look cuter. And those were the only days where I saw some of my female classmates without makeup. So apart from those days, most teachers didn't really care if you wore makeup or not. One time I passed a teacher in the hallway with a group of girls from my class and one of them got scolded for her perm though. Matsuda-san, your hair is a bit too curly, isn't it? But that was it. Now for the creepy stuff. A girl from New Zealand who went to a different school than I did told me about some really crazy rules at her school though. Apparently she was not supposed to shave her legs or to pluck her eyebrows. What? Now come on, that's just cruel. You have to wear a skirt, but you can't shave your legs. Also, I think that rule is kind of invading your personal space. But I don't know how strict they were about checking upon these rules, or if they actually paid attention to who may have shaved the legs or not. But I think we can all agree that that's quite ridiculous and that 5 minutes more in the shower to shave your legs won't really have a huge impact on your performance in class. There were also some club-specific rules at our school. For example, if you were to join the basketball club, your hair can't be longer than this, I think. It was pretty short, so I would have to cut my hair. And my hair was this long that time, so I would have to cut a lot. The basketball teacher gave me this bag before I left the school, although I did not join the basketball team, so thank you, sensei, I still have it. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, after watching the video, let me know, do they have school uniforms where you live? What rules are there, and did you like wearing a school uniform, or would you have rather worn your own clothes? Let me know. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you want to learn more about living in Japan and going to a Japanese school. And feel free to give me a thumbs up if you like this video. As usual, if you have any further questions regarding Japanese school life or living in Japan, just hit the comment sections and let me know. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Jane! Does this make you think of Harry Potter too? Expelliarmus.